Hey friends, Zach here. Now a few months ago, I began my adventure of traveling the United States of America. And before leaving, there was one thing amongst many other things that I was genuinely concerned about. And that was how I was going to be able to hold up in the middle of the winter, simply sleeping in the back of my truck. Now, before I get started explaining what I do to keep myself warm at night, I want to thank Vinny Van for being the inspiration behind the creation of this video. Vinny Van asked me in the comment section, how the heck are you keeping warm at night? Let's go ahead and pop the back and I will begin my explanation for how I'm able to keep warm at night. And it's really not too complicated. Pretty much anybody is capable of achieving the warmth that I'm able to achieve at night. And I have seen many techniques for keeping an area this large warm at night, but my answer is not going to be how to keep a large area warm at night. My answer to Vinny Van's question is that sleeping bag right there. All I use to stay warm at night is a 0-degree sleeping bag, and it has done the job for me every single night. I use a buff to cover my face or neck if I need to, and a winter hat definitely helps a lot. Now, I have a climate 0-degree sleeping bag, and it has done wonders for me in the frigid conditions that I have been through. Tonight, it's looking like we're going to be getting into the 30s, and really anything above freezing or even close to freezing isn't bad at all in a 0-degree sleeping bag. Now, I also have to credit my window covers, and I'm not totally sure if they do anything at all, but I do have 2 sheets of Reflectix covering each one of my windows, so perhaps that does something to add to the overall insulation value of the entire sleeping area. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my unicycle out of the way here, hop in and explain a few techniques that I've seen other people do that help them stay warm at night. Now, the most obvious way to achieve a night of warm sleep with frigid conditions outside is to simply heat up the entire area. Now, this area is pretty large, but it's really not that big when it comes to heating up the entire space. I have seen in person and on YouTube over the course of this journey, primarily 2 ways to heat up the inside of this space. The first is by way of the buddy heater. The way that thing is fueled is by those green Coleman propane tanks that I imagine everyone has seen. It is the same one that I use to fuel my stovetop. So that's the first way that I have seen used to heat up the entire area that you're sleeping in. The other way, if you have this capability, is to simply slide over the window between the cab and your living space and to just turn the car on and crank the heat. And once you get enough heat inside, especially if you have the area well insulated, that should do you enough to stay warm throughout the night. And maybe you have to wake up and turn the car back on and heat up the area again, but that is a way that I have seen used to heat up the living area. Now, for myself, the sleeping bag has done just fine to keep me warm at night. Now, of course, I can't just sit right here and work or read or do something unless I'm in my sleeping bag, or else it is very uncomfortable. But for me, like I said before, the sleeping bag has done wonders. Another very interesting way that I have seen people heat up their area is simply by using those small little candles. They just put them wherever, and the flame from that candle heats up the area, so I hear, in no time. So those are some pretty interesting and cool techniques that I have heard about or seen being used to heat up the area. But for me, like I've already said, the sleeping bag has done wonders. Now, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I will definitely get around to answering your questions at some point in time. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you on the next one.